In this lecture, we are going to talk about the U in CRUD, which stands for update. How do we update existing rows in our table? We use update more than you might think. A good example is if you're changing a password on a website, it's probably using an update statement. Another example is if you're adding an item to your cart and removing item from your cart, or making an order or changing order details. Almost any change that you make in the database, it's going to require you to use update statement. So the big question, how do we update in SQL? So this is the query that we are going to use. As you can see, we have keyword update. Then we have to provide the table name, which is going to be employee. Then we have set, and after the set, we want to provide what we want to update. In this example, we're trying to update the salary of our employees, and we are familiar with where keyword. So basically, we're trying to say in what exact rows we want to update the salary. So in this case, we're trying to say update the salary in rows which are 50,000 to 55,000. I hope you can see how this is really helpful. If we didn't have the update query, the other option would have been to delete our employee and insert the exact same employee with the 55,000 salary instead. And imagine if you have like a couple of thousand employees, how hard can it be? Or if you have millions of users and they change their passwords, their username and stuff like that, how hard it would have been to do without the update query. Let's do a couple of examples together. Let's open MySQL. Let's type show databases. And I want to use the pizza database. So I type use and then the database name. Let's check if we are in the right database. Type show tables. And yes, we have our employees table. Let's do select star from employees. And let's look how many employees have 50,000 salary. So we have Michael with 50,000 salary, Alice and Olivia. So let's remember them and let's run our update query. Okay, so we are going to type the same query that we had in the slides. So let's type update employees set salary equals 55. So that's the salary that we want to set as. So we want to update to 55,000. And then we're going to type where salary equals 50,000. And let's check if we were successful. Let's run select everything from employees. And as you can see, we have Michael, 55,000 salary, Alice and Olivia. So we were successful, but that's not the only way that we can run an update query. Let's say that we want to update the salary of exact employee that we have. Let's do Dave. So David has ID number 5 and he makes 45,000. The process is the same. We are going to type update employees set salary. Let's set his salary to 80,000. Then we type where, and we are going to use his first name to find him. Let's type first name equals, and I hope you remember, if we are referring to text, we have to use quotation marks. So we open quotation marks, type David, and let's check if we were successful. And as you can see, David now makes 80,000. But you might think it's not practical because in a big company there can be many employees with the first name David. Okay, we can use his first name and last name, but that's not practical also because there can be many employees with first name and last name. And that's when our ID column with auto increments comes to rescue. We can use this query to update David's salary. Let's type update employees set salary. Let's give him 95,000 and where ID equals 5. Let's check if we were successful, and as you can see, ID number 5, David, now has 65,000 salary. Okay, let's learn how to delete a specific row. So it's pretty straightforward. We use keyword delete from, then we have to provide the table name, in this case employees, and usually we want to narrow it down, so we are going to use where id equals 5. Otherwise we will get something like this, delete from employees. This query is going to delete every single row that you have in your table, but most of the time you will not use the delete in this type of query. Usually if you want to delete the entire table, we'll use a drop keyword to delete the whole table. So let's start by deleting our employee with the ID number 5. First, let's look at all of our employees. So we are going to do select everything from employees. Let's find our employee with ID number 5. So it's going to be David. Let's now try and delete David from our employees table. So as we looked, we have to type delete from employees where ID equals 5. Okay, let's look at our employees again to make sure that we were successful. And as you can see now, we don't have the David in our employee table. And as you already know, we don't have to use the ID. It's just easier that way. We can use the name or we can use the salary. Let's say we want to delete all the employees that have 60,000 salary. In that case, we are going to type delete from employees where salary equals 60,000. And this query should have deleted all the employees that had 60,000 salary. So let's check. And as you can see, we no longer have employees that make 60,000. So delete is the most easiest part because it's straightforward. You're just removing a specific row or rows from your table. So this will be it for this lecture. See you in the next one.